Hello again. Introduction to my list of life. So I go into this webpage. I will go into it in more detail, but first, let me go here. Background information. The list of life. What is the purpose of it? It is to make people independent of others as follows. You can feel happy or feel self-worth from knowing yourself and accepting yourself. You do not need to get praise or have other interactions with people that prop up your ego. You can avoid unhappiness by accepting reality. Put this in this maybe more interesting to look at. And by not trying to expect anything in the future from anything that you desire, you think will give happiness. The future does not give happiness, the present gives happiness. Expecting something, you never know what is going to happen. It's very difficult to predict the future. And thus, you need to change your mindset. That is really what gives you happiness. This does not mean your goal should be to be alone and be happy, but it means that things like friendship gives additional meaning to your life. They should not be the source of your happiness. Let's see. Let's go put this like this. Then I go into a bit of background, which is about religion. I never felt, even in school, that religion is necessary as something to give meaning to your life or to understand life. But to some people, it is useful. And we'll go into that as well in this list of life, the extended list of life. The first list of life I thought of, it's a condensation of topics from my goal to understand everything in life, which means really people, and having the having the understanding of the basics that you can deduce everything. Actually, you can't deduce everything because that's too complicated from principles. But there are four main methods that you can use to understand everything. Approximately four. Depends a bit on what you're trying to do. And it works. I can understand people better than psychologists. And that's because I understand the basics of how and why people think. I can emulate also people like autists by switching off feelings, for example. And from the basics of different thinking of men and women that I know, I've made axioms, and these axioms are really confirmed every time. I asked also yesterday, by the way, in gathering with some people I know, some friends, about meeting. It was about the meetings. I told a bit about meetings in Ukraine that I had, experiences in Ukraine, unusual experiences, such as people just for no reason helping me, and that sort of thing has never happened in the Netherlands, and I don't think it will happen as it's happened here. It's really different. It's any case. So there was a sort of a showing of what I like in Ukraine, but also letting them taste a few things from the Netherlands that I like in food. The list of life, the first version I sent to a former follower of the cult of Shunyamurti. I sent a message via a website on which the experiences were shown, published. And I thought maybe that person would be interested in a sort of interview via email, questions and then answers, and then a second round of questions and answers. I think that would be very interesting. So I sent a few things in that email, or I wrote a few things in that email, and what is it? Maybe after that, in a reply, I think it was a little bit later, that I sent a list of life. I need to check my emails. And this person said, so I'll go over it. Don't worry. This person said, that may take a lifetime, and I don't agree. Such as I mentioned in my commentary on the how a psychopath views life. That article from the US. That's what she said in that article. I agree with, although I expand it. There are more steps involved. How to get from understanding to feeling to living. Don't be afraid. That in the later list I combined that because there are versions of worrying. Afraid of being worrying about the future, about safety in the future. Seek meaning in your life. If you're depressed and you don't seek meaning in your life because you're depressed, but and if you're enlightened, then I suppose you don't need to seek meaning in your life either. But for everyone else, seeking meaning in your life is important. Having goals, even if they're soft goals, what I call soft goals are goals that you can easily change. I think you can also call that what I've seen somewhere in a book, a Dutch book long ago. The term stayed with me. I thought that's interesting. A desireless desire. Analyze yourself and look at the past only to improve your understanding of life, of people, and to improve your decision making, not to create self-doubt, not to have regret. What happened, you can't change the past. Break free from your habits, desires, and goals if they're restricting you too much, restricting you too much if you feel that way. Yeah, it doesn't really mean not even necessary too much, I think. But you can always say, yeah, there's always some restricting going on. If you want something, and most people want something, they have desires, they have wishes, and you have to take that into account. Then that always restricts you. Keep in mind, the problem is a pessimist view of a challenge. I read this on, I think, in a signature on a website somewhere long ago, and I thought this is cool, a cool saying, and I like it. So I use this in my list of life as an example of how there are other ways also that I've read and that I've thought about of how to say it, but this one is, I think, the best one. Be a yes man, as in the film with Jim Carrey, or yes woman, now and then, to give yourself new and unexpected experiences. And I've done it. I didn't. This was told to me by a woman I've known long ago in Kiev. At some point, she just disappeared. Pity. She had the most unusual humor, and sometimes humor that they don't know is humor. And it often happens with people who have something harsh and unfriendly in their personality. This type of humor and these type of unusual comments, which is a pity because I really like those comments. But then I already know, this person is like this, and it's always like this. I've never seen an exception. And it's like that there's something unfriendly in them. One comment she made, I will tell you, but I will tell you first. Yeah, it's like you have a conversation the next day. I was walking in a supermarket, for example. It happened several times, and I started just laughing, thinking back to the comments she made. And I think, looking around me, I wasn't that letting everything slide and don't care if people think negatively or weird about me. So maybe people think I'm weird, just starting to laugh out of nowhere, just walking around alone in the supermarkets. It's strange, possibly. But yeah, one of the things she said, for example, was this. This was the first comment that I thought, wow, that's cool, but and unusual, and I liked it. So she knew I liked tea. I like tea a lot, and I like to try all the teas. And my favorite teas are actually from Ukraine these days. She asked me, "Have you ever tried tea with cream?" Tea with cream? I've tried tea with milk long ago when I was little, maybe until 10 or so, and then switched to just tea. And I asked, does it taste good? And she said, it doesn't taste very good, but it looks mysterious. It's like the stuff going in the tea, like swirling, maybe something like that. So it was so funny and unusual. And she explained she was very visual. She doing, not really an artist, but doing things, where the visual stuff is important. Um, And I also do this a bit now and then. For example, yesterday with the meeting with friends, I asked, yeah, what is the primary necessity of life? And yeah, the one question was, yeah, what do you mean for yourself or something specific? I said, in general. And they came up with various answers. And then I said, no, the primary necessity of life is tea. And I asked this question years ago to a friend who knew me already quite long, and I asked her, "Yeah, do you know what the primary necessity of life is?" I don't know exactly the conversation in which. No, it was a message, possibly via Telegram or Viber. I think it was a message, yeah. And she said or replied, unusual question. Is it perhaps tea? So she knew me well. Okay, last one. If you can only find one sock from a spare, not a problem. Everyone experiences this. Yeah, this is sort of a joke, but also serious. Don't take everything so seriously. Don't look at it as a problem. And if it's a problem, then look at it as a pessimist view of a challenge. So don't become negative about it. Sometimes it can be a bit annoying to get problems. I mean, for example, I was in last year dealing with a lot of paperwork for residence permits, for buying a house. So much you need to do, especially because Ukraine is not an EU country. So I was away on a bike trip, for example, and then I had to come back to fix some things. I also had to do this for to set up a business bank account when I was in going from Lviv on the bike to Lutsk, and when I'd left Lviv, about 30 kilometers maybe further I was, maybe 20 something like that. Bank called and had to give some paperwork. I said, oh no, if necessary I will come back, but and then they said, well, you can do it also in any bank, private bank branch. So I did that. And I'll talk now a little bit about this. This was the woman I met in 2018 in but don't worry. So the woman the person who had been in the cult with Junior Murty said to me about this. Yeah, that may take a lifetime to not worry, and I disagree. I think it can come very quickly if you do what I suggest how to do it. But that will come in the description where I discussed the total list of life, the newer version. This woman also, I told her in 2018, in December, I was in Kharkov to meet her to help her with various things. And this is a painting she made. I thought, oh, that looks fantastic. It's an abstract flower. And I helped her with various things. I did not get to do the meeting about my view of Ukraine versus to discuss it with people living there. She was supposed to organize it and did not happen. In any case, yeah, I helped her with various things. We discussed things, and I will give you an example of not worrying. I said, I never worry. And she said, how can you not worry? She asked. I did not explain it properly, and at the time I didn't think it was even important to discuss this or to explain how she or others could get such mindset. But it's actually important. But I was thinking about other things that I needed to fix, that I wanted to understand and describe and explain in my projects, if that's published, then you can understand everything in life, I hope. Anyway, she sent some pictures, and I came to meet her after she sent these, and it was very interesting. So she told me about a group of friends with whom she worked, but they expelled her from the group. So they wanted to do ecological living, and then they pushed her out because I think mainly because one of the guys wanted a relationship with her. She did not want it with him. And then they found someone else who had some of her knowledge and abilities, and they just pushed her out. It's disgraceful what they did, but it's in a way she also did similar things with me. It's like you get, yeah, what fits with you, I think. In any case, um, one of the example was at that time. She was going to take me somewhere, and I was staying in her apartment, which was actually her parents' apartment, but I didn't know it at the time. I did not have the key, so I could not just go in. It would be with her. Um, I was on the way to a specific metro station, and I asked someone on the metro where to get out or when to get out, and yeah, so many stops ahead. I was then, I think, on my phone or tablet or thinking about something, and the guy said, "Yeah, this is your stop," and I said, "No, no, no, it's okay." And then I was a bit later, the subway went on, and I thought, what the hell was I thinking? What was I doing? He said to get off. Why didn't I get off? Why was. Sometimes you're too busy with certain things. Anyway, I thought, okay, could be a problem. We had a meeting at the subway station at a certain time. How am I going to find her then if I'm maybe 10 minutes late or longer? It can be 15, depends a bit on how frequently the subway goes. And it's not as often as in Kiev. So it could be 15 minutes or so. And what would happen then? Would she wait there? Would she go out? How can I find her? And I thought, yeah, nothing I can do. I think I can just exit at the next subway station, metro station, and take one back, and we'll see what happens. And maybe I'll go out and then send a message. Yeah, I think maybe an issue as well was that there was no Wi-Fi working in the metro, and normally there was, so you could send a message, so that if she would be there earlier, then she could read, oh, she needs to wait. Could not send that. And I'm not sure whether I had at the time mobile internet. I think not. In any case, so I waited for the next subway, and I did not have any stress. I did not feel it. I thought, yeah, we will see what happens. So I was at the subway station, and 30 seconds later or so, she arrived. And she was late. But even if there was a problem, if we couldn't find each other, we wanted to go to some place. I did not know the place where were going. She had not given me an exact location. I did not have a key to her apartment, or her parents' rather apartment. So yeah, maybe what would I have to do? Well, you just see what you need to do when you need to do it. That's how it works. And how to get to your mindset, I will go into that soon. So that's it for now. Maybe this was interesting. Bye.